Hello and welcome to History For Weirdos.
We are your hosts, Andrew
and Stephanie,
and we're going to take you on a journey into the strange, obscure, and relentlessly entertaining corners of human history.
Now listen up, friends, because it's about to get weird.
Weirdos, welcome back to another episode of History for Weirdos with your favorite history podcasters, Stephanie, and yours truly, Andrew.
Yay! We're definitely your favorite. We already know. We don't need to tell us.
That's so true, right?
Yeah. And we are so excited that we are recording today at Spotify Studios.
Always a great time being here in lovely downtown LA, recording at Spotify.
We're so grateful to have this space because, as you all know, we have some loud animals at home.
I know.
So not only is this beautiful, very professional, but it's so quiet.
It's so quiet. It's like eerie being in here.
Yeah, there's like no bird squawking in the background.
No.
That's a Perry.
That's Perry.
That's a Perry sound.
Yeah.
So we're, as always, excited to be here and really grateful to Travis, who takes care of us here.
Yeah,
Thank you,
absolutely.
Travis.
Thank you, Travis. He's the homie.
He's the homie for sure.
Yeah, he's our weirdo here at Spotify.
Yeah.
Love him.
And before we jump in, it's a crazy time in the world.
It is. I wanted to talk specifically about Nepal, and I wanted to bring this up because we are currently witnessing a live revolution.
Yeah, which is history in action.
It is history in action, and I have to say, I am so proud of Gen Z. You know, to use their terms, I'm going to glaze them a little bit.
Yeah, glaze them.
I think Gen Z is doing such an amazing job kind of throwing off the yoke of oppression and corruption. And I think Nepal is such a prime example of that. And I just really am so enamored, fascinated, really just proud of that generation. I think they are doing such a better job than, quite frankly, my generation, the millennials have, and especially even older generations.
I think I've noticed that too, because we've talked about this before. My siblings are Gen Z. Mm-hmm. My sister's at the youngest end because she's only 17. But just talking to them or talking to their friends or relationships they've had, it seems like a generation that is much more informed.
Yes.
They question things. And they seem to be approaching the world as we don't have to do things this way just because we've always done it this way.
Yes, exactly.
Which is so refreshing and always needed.
I think there's an uptick of neurodivergence within them. So I think that could also be part of a reason. Just trying to lump myself in there.
You're yeah, I'm part of it.
I'm part of that group too.
Yeah.
I'm solidly a millennial. But I really wanted to give them a shout out. Truly amazing. And yeah, you guys are awesome. I was I felt like I was going to say something else, but I'm no, I guess that's it.
Well, and when it comes to Nepal, we were talking about this the other morning. We're we should mention this on the podcast, that it's really not talked about a ton right now in the U.S. So for our U.S. listeners, we do recommend trying to consume international media.
Yes.
Trying to consume journalism from various sources, independent journalists if possible.
Yes, I agree. That was the other thing that I wanted to talk about. Specifically, we noticed when we looked at how the New York Times was covering the events in Nepal versus Al Jazeera.
Very different.
Very different. I do feel that, other independent and international outlets will cover the events more objectively.
Yeah, it's just get a different perspective.
Yeah.
That's always our recommendation.
It's always definitely our recommendation. Well, okay. And Stephanie, you have a really interesting episode today, don't you?
Yes, I do. Because weirdos, I know you, I see you, I understand you. We have an old Hollywood murder this week.
We told our rep at Spotify, funny enough, not Travis, Adele, about this episode. And she's like, oh, I cannot wait till this drops.
So shout out to Adele as well. She puts up with our very slow email response times.
And just chaotic
energy. We are, as you all may suspect, we are a bit of like fly by the seat of our pants kind of podcasters.
Absolutely. We definitely are. We don't take ourselves too seriously. The only thing we take seriously is the research.
Absolutely. That's kind of like where we have to focus, like our discipline is
Yeah.
in the research and the writing of the episode. And then everything else is like, we'll see how it goes.
Pretty much, yeah.
I was telling Andrew that I had a call with a woman, another therapist, another social worker for her podcast, because I have a Substack called Good Girl Rehab.
Check it out. It's awesome.
Yeah, if you resonate with the title, please check it out. I'm always surprised at how many men are subscribers, and I love and appreciate you so much. But I was talking to this woman about Good Girl Rehab, and her podcast is really on like first gen finances. So we're chatting, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, okay, yes, I think this is a good conversation for the podcast, for her podcast. First Gen Madrina is what it's called. And she's like, so I have everything scheduled for like the next 6 months. So your interview, I'm going to interview you in like 6 months from now. And I was like, holy smokes, that could not be more different than how Andrew and I podcast.
It's really funny too, because she's a much smaller audience than we do. Not to like compare or anything, but it's just like, wow, like
you're so much more organized.
You're so much more organized. And I also, a huge shout out to the weirdos. Like, thank you for putting up with us.
Yeah. Thank you for putting up with us. We really appreciate you.
Yeah.
And as a thanks for putting up with us, here's an old Hollywood murder.
Let's go.
So we're going to go into April 1958. And we're going to talk about one of Hollywood's golden girls, Lana Turner. She was at the center of a shocking Beverly Hills killing. Her boyfriend, Johnny Stompanato, lay dead in her home from a single stab wound.
Oh.
And Lana Turner's 14-year-old daughter, Cheryl, was holding the knife.
Oof.
So we are going to explore the glamour, the mob ties, the media frenzy behind one of old Hollywood's most sensational scandals. Dun, dun, dun.
Excited.
But first, we are going to, of course, get a little context, because Hollywood in 1958 was a very different world than the world we have today, where we have so much what feels like direct personal access to celebrities. They didn't have that. You really interacted with celebrities through their movies, their TV shows, and like gossip magazines, right? That's pretty much it. That's how you knew about them. So a lot of their images, because of that, because it was more contained than it is today, are very highly curated images.
Yes, exactly.
And Hollywood really prioritized that. They wanted to sell the idea of a person, not an actual person.
Yeah, like almost the idealized idea of a person.
Right. Which we still see to a certain extent with social media.
Right.
Of course.
Authenticity, I think, is much more of a factor now than it was.
I agree. So for some context, by this year, when the murder takes place, 1958, that studio system that we tend to think of when we think of old Hollywood, where like the studios are like ultra powerful, it was collapsing, because 10 years prior in 1948, there was the Paramount antitrust ruling. So studios could no longer guarantee their audiences through block booking or vertical control of theaters. Basically, it was a ruling that helped demonopolize the studio system.
Right. If you're a business major, they were like vertically integrated, and the Supreme Court essentially was like, no, this is bad.
So they would like make movie theaters like buy their movies in bulk. They like owned everything. They owned every part of the business process, right? Is that what vertical integration is?
Basically, yeah, like the entire supply chain. If you think of it from like a movie making perspective, like basically owning the actors, owning like
yes.
Owning the way that you create the movies, and then owning the distribution,
yes.
and then owning the actual like theaters themselves.
Mm-hmm. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, it's actually wild to think about now.
It's amazing that they ever got away with it.
Yeah, and especially since that, I mean, even old studios, what's left of them are kind of dying.
Yes.
Getting bought out by like Amazons and like
yes.
the tech giants.
Exactly. So this was in the wake of that, where the studios are like, they've lost a lot of power. And are probably doing whatever they can to like desperately like maintain some sort of control. But on the outside, from like our perspective of the audiences still remained obsessed with stars, right? Mm-hmm. So this is the time where there's Elizabeth Taylor, Marilyn Monroe, Rock Hudson, Marlon Brando. Marlon Brando.
Marlon Brando. We met a dog named Marlon Brando once.
An Italian family that we met, they had a really cute puppy. And I was like, oh my God, what's his name? And they're like, Marlon Brando.
I love Italians.
What a good name for a dog. Yeah. These icons really defined culture of the time. And as studios are losing their grip, agents are getting power because the studios don't own these icons now, right? So you can have your agent gets a little more money, gets a little more power.
Yeah.
And they were able to like craft deals where stars could earn a profit of percentages instead of these like actually fairly low fixed salaries that they had before. So the old Hollywood system was dying, but public appetite for stars was not.
Right. This is still this is the golden age of Hollywood.
Yeah, that's definitely what it's referred to as. But of course, like anything that's really glamorous and pristine, there's a dark underbelly. There were so many issues for Hollywood stars at this time. For example, there's a lot of substance misuse issues. There's a lot of body image issues. There's unfortunately, there's kind of like the stereotype that stars at this time got married a lot, right? They married like Elizabeth Taylor.
Yeah. Didn't she get married like 7 times or something?
Yeah.
Like,
isn't that wild?
It's insane.
Well, there was also a lot of lack of protection is the best way to put it for women in marriages at this time. So there were virtually no legal protections for domestic violence or even spousal rape wasn't considered a thing.
Oh, that's right.
That like you could not accuse your spouse of that. It's like, that's impossible, which obviously it is not. It was, like today, it's so easy, I think, in comparison to this time to get a restraining order against someone. It was really hard for women to get restraining orders. If it was your husband, the cops were like, no.
No, it's your husband.
That's your husband. I'm not giving you a restraining order.
Right. Wow.
So domestic quarrels is kind of what it was seen as, is like, oh, women, they're just so crazy and they're just fighting with their husbands. Ugh. And this really... I think, like, when I think of those serial marriages, I think of those problems going on behind the scenes.
Yeah.
But because Hollywood still wants to maintain this glamorized, pristine image, no one was talking about it.
Right.
No one was talking about any of this. And it would have been such a powerful thing to talk about. Like, yes, I divorced that man because he hit me.
Right. Like, he was an abuser. He was a POS.
Yeah.
Right.
But instead it was just like, wow, she just wants to get married over and over and over again.
I know.
Like, no one wants that.
It's crazy, like, to think that, like, this is how people, like, generally perceived events.
Yeah.
And especially because compared to now, we'd be like, oh, no, that's not accurate. And I think we just have a much better understanding of, like, nuance and the whole picture in some regards. In some regards, we've actually lost that.
That's true.
But specifically, like, talking about, like, domestic issues, I think there is better nuance now.
I think we understand now generally, like, when celebrities get divorced, like, oh, something must have happened in that relationship.
Yeah.
That was really painful for these two people to decide to separate.
Right. And I think to a certain extent, and I don't know if this is just me, like, I just don't care anymore. Like,
people really cared.
They cared back then. Yeah.
They really cared. It was like such a scandal, such a contrast to that idealized 1950s American family.
Yes, that's right. And that was like a counter to that narrative.
Because of all the stuff that no one's talking about. Yeah, this is why we got to talk about stuff, you guys.
Says the therapist. It's big therapy.
It's big therapy. Stop.
I'm so sorry I had to say that. It just came to me immediately. Stephanie's trying to sell you something.
It's my hidden agenda to get you all to go to therapy.
To start like this podcast where we get invited to Spotify just so that to drive clients to your practice.
Oh my God. What a long con.
What a long con with like...
And what a terrible execution, because I don't get therapy referrals from this podcast. Sam tracks my referral sources.
Yeah.
Sam is he helped us with the podcast for a while. He's an incredible like admin assistant. And he's like, hey, you should be tracking where these people are coming from. And I was like, that's a great idea. So far, none have been History for Weirdos. Thanks a lot, guys. Thanks a lot.
I know. Actually, I'm really surprised. I thought at least one person would.
You know what tends to happen is clients find the podcast.
Yeah.
And so we'll be working together for like a year, 6 months, like a lot of time. And then one day they log into session and they have this like little smirk on their face.
And you're like, what is this?
And I'm like, hey, how are you today? How are you doing? And they're like, I know. And I know exactly what I'm like, no, you found it.
That's incredible.
They always want to know, why didn't you tell me? This is your therapy time.
Like, of course, I'm not going to tell you about my podcast, my history podcast.
Why would I bore you with my history podcast? But
unless they're history nerds like us, then...
Even then, I don't tell them. It's not appropriate.
Of course not.
For me to talk about me. But it is cute because then they start listening. I know a couple of current clients listen. So hello. So back to Lana Turner.
Lana Turner.
So I gave all that context of like domestic violence and stuff. So it's in the background. Keep it in the back of your mind. It may or may not come up later. I don't know. So, but now we're going to talk about Lana Turner. She was born Julia Jean Turner in 1921 in Wallace, Idaho. Her dad was John Virgil Turner. And I just want to say, I think this might be like the 5th time we've encountered someone in the podcast whose name is Virgil in some way, shape, or form that isn't like Virgil.
Like the Virgil.
And it's such a good name.
It's a great name. It's definitely not used enough in today's society. Back. If any weirdos are pregnant, consider naming your child Virgil.
Please.
If the baby's a boy.
I don't care. Just name that baby Virgil.
I guess if it's your choice.
I can't, if we have a baby one day, I can't name our baby Virgil because my family's going to be like...
Virgil.
Virgil?
Oh, that's awful.
¿Qué es Virgil? No, guys.
You've thought that out already.
Yes, I have because I love the name so much.
It is a great name, but immediately, same thing. I was like, oh, Spanish speakers are going to have a tough time with that name.
We loved the name Seneca in English.
Yeah.
Right? Like Seneca, the philosopher. And I was like, okay, but in Spanish it's going to be Seneca. Oh my God. No. If any of you know old-timey names that sound good in English and Spanish, let us know. Okay. So John Virgil Turner was a minor with a love of gambling.
That's not going to end well.
Her mom was Mildred, another beautiful old-timey name, Frances Cohen, and she was a housewife who had to take on work in a beauty salon and a dress shop and lots of odd jobs because her husband was constantly gambling their money away.
Come on, Virgil.
I know. The family relocated to San Francisco, California in 1925, and tragically, in 1930, when Lana Turner, obviously that wasn't her name yet, but when she was just 9 years old, her father was found murdered.
Oh.
He was beaten to death in San Francisco after winning at a card game.
Yeah.
He was gambling, he won, he was very excited about it. As he was trying to get home, he was robbed. Probably because people saw him sort of
win all that money as soon as you leave.
Mm-hmm, he was followed. And his murder was unfortunately never solved. Must have been really hard for such a young age to lose your dad like that.
Yeah.
So after her husband's death, Lana Turner's mom moved them to Los Angeles in search of more stability. I'd imagine it's really hard to live when live in the city where a tragedy like that happened. So she became the sole breadwinner, and she had to work really long hours to the point where at first she was able to leave little Lana Turner with like the neighbors or acquaintances. But eventually she was just working so much to try to pay the bills. She would sometimes leave her in boarding schools, which isn't like, they're not like fancy boarding schools. Marilyn Monroe grew up in one as well. They're more kind of like boarding schools / orphanages.
Right.
So more for low income people where it's like you are not home to take care of your kid and you need to make sure someone feeds them. So I think she had a really hard childhood. And then at the age of 15 or 16, I found different accounts. She was at a malt shop in Hollywood, Lana Turner, and she was skipping school. She was supposed to be at school, but she was like, nah.
That sounds like you in high school.
Yeah, I skipped school a lot, which is always surprising to people.
Yeah, 'cause now she has like a master's degree from an Ivy League. No big deal.
I had undiagnosed ADHD, and I was like, this is the most boring place in the whole world. I'd rather be anywhere than school. And now I have a history podcast. So as 15 or 16-year-old Lana Turner skipping school, she's having malt, whatever that is. A talent scout, grown man, notices her immediately. His name is Mervyn Leroy, and he's like, I could make you a star.
Literally, I bet he said those same exact words.
He's like, hey, sweetheart, I could make you a star. And she's like, I'm 16. Okay.
Yeah.
So he did get her a contract with MGM, one of the biggest studios at the time. And then her screen debut happens in 1937.
Wow.
She's young. She's, again, probably like 16. And it was in a film called They Won't Forget. And her role was minor, right? Because she's a nobody. She's a kid. She's just like strolling across the screen for one scene. But they put her in a very tight sweater for that scene. And this earned her sort of like instant fame. And she was nicknamed the Sweater Girl. Yeah.
I had no comment.
Pause for appropriate upset. Gross. So Turner, after that, after people were like obsessed with seeing this child in the tight sweater, MGM was really excited about it. And
of course they were.
Of course they were. So they specialized in creating glamour queens, as they were called. This is like Greta Garbo, Hedy Lamarr, who Andrew did an episode on, Ava Gardner. They were all MGM glamour queens. So they invested a lot of time and resources, like hairdressers, makeup artists, costume designers, dental work, medical interventions, like kind of like a speech therapist, like an acting coach / speech therapist, movement coaches, things like that, to create Lana Turner, this 16-year-old, into a glamour queen. And it worked. They transformed her. They created the image that they wanted to create. And here I really want us to remember that Golden Age Hollywood is heavily influenced by very Eurocentric beauty ideals. So even though Lana Turner was already white, a lot of the transformation included making her skin like even more fair and porcelain looking, making her hair blonde, of course. And if you had light colored eyes, which I don't actually, let me look at a colored picture of her. I think she might have actually. All of her photos are obviously black and white. No, in the colorized images, it looks like she has brown eyes. But ideally,
like
blue eyes.
Blue eyes.
Like somebody we know. So, yeah, she looked like the typical old Hollywood pinup.
Yeah.
Blonde bombshell, very Marilyn Monroe-esque of the era, okay? So by the early 1940s, Turner had become one of MGM's most bankable stars, appearing in popular films like Johnny Eager from 1941, Ziegfeld Girl, also 1941. Oh my God, and another one in 1941, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde.
Wow, they really pumped out movies quickly back in the day.
Yeah. I wonder if that movie's good because I love the book Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. We should watch it.
We'll do it.
In 1946, she was in a film called The Postman Always Rings Twice as a femme fatale. And this really like launched her into stardom. She had like a very dramatic, sexy on-screen presence. And this made her even more famous than being the sweater girl. She started to become a household name at this point. So you would think this young girl who grew up basically with a single mom, murdered dad, living in those boarding schools is like the it girl.
Yeah, she's like, what, 20 or something at this point?
Yes. So young. You would think this is kind of like a Cinderella story, which I think is what Hollywood always wanted people to think.
Of course.
But her life behind the scenes was tumultuous, of course, because she's so young and no one is actually looking out for her. They're just looking to make a profit.
Right.
So she makes a lot of impulsive decisions, especially when it comes to romantic relationships.
I mean, of course, like her dad died at such a young age. Like,
yeah, you don't have a blueprint for what is it like to have a healthy... And even when he was alive, he was gambling away all their money.
Right. So like, and also in that... within her position, every man like wants something from her.
Every man wants something from her. Absolutely. That's a good point. So she had a lot of like on again, off again relationships. People started to get really invested in her off-screen drama through those like tabloid magazines. So by 1943, the U.S. is busy.
It's pretty busy.
There's World War II going on. And Hollywood was actually really central to the war effort in a lot of ways. Studios were producing very patriotic films. A lot of morale-boosting musicals come from this time. And that image of glamour was really important for keeping spirits up. That's when all of the old Hollywood starlets are doing those USO tours.
Yes.
Right? Or bond drives. Like, get bonds. Help the soldiers. And Lana, what?
That voice, like the transatlantic accent that you have, it's amazing.
Bring it back, weirdos.
Bring it back.
So Lana was heavily involved in entertaining the troops. And she was actually one of the most requested pinups for GIs overseas. Some of the other like pinups, just to mention them, were Betty Grable, Veronica Lake. Do you know who they are?
Yeah, I can't picture them in my head, but like I've heard the names.
Also blonde bombshells.
Yeah.
Just like slightly different looks. And basically I think it's really interesting thinking of that pattern. And today we still really, in difficult times, which I think the world has been going through difficult times for a few years now, we are so prone to escapism.
Oh my God, yes.
Right? The GIs are escaping by like, oh, there's this like beautiful like bombshell here. I can feel good for a few moments. And we do that now with social media. We escape into other people's worlds, other people's lives. I think it's fascinating that we are not so different.
Oh yeah, we're wholly the same. Just in like we have the same brains as like humans from 250,000 years ago, but now give us like smartphones and like the ability to just know things that are happening around the world within seconds.
And I think because of that, because our instant access to knowledge, we tend to, I fall into this, we tend to think like we are so much smarter than people of the past.
We're not.
I don't think so.
No, we're definitely not.
I think in a lot of ways we're dumber. I know I am. So around this time, Lana Turner married Stephen Crane, a handsome restaurateur.
Oh, Stefan.
And within 24 hours, the marriage was annulled.
Shut up. Oh my God. I was literally thinking like, oh my God, that like what, it would be so funny if they got divorced within like a week.
24 hours.
24 hours.
But it's because it was discovered that Mr. Crane hadn't finalized his previous divorce. That's not allowed.
That's a big no-no.
You can't be married to two people at the same time. Right now.
Much to some people's chagrin.
Yeah. But surprisingly, Lana remarries him.
Interesting. Like when the dust settles from his previous divorce.
Once he finalizes the divorce, she marries him. Unsurprisingly, to the outsider who is not like a 20-something-year-old Hollywood star, they didn't have a very good marriage.
Wow. Color me shocked.
Mm-hmm. Later in her life, when asked about that, like, why would you remarry him when he lied to you about being divorced? She said that she was already pregnant when she found that out.
No.
So she really wanted legitimacy for her child. That's such a hard situation to be in.
That sucks.
Can you imagine? So this is 1943. So how old would she be? She's still really young.
She's like 22. I think she's born in 1921, you said?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, like 22.
And to be 22 and you're in love with this guy and you're going to get married and you're pregnant, it's like, oops, he's already married. Oh, that must have hurt so much.
As your dad would say, lovely.
Exactly. So on July 25th, 1943, Lana gave birth to Cheryl Christina Crane in Los Angeles. Turner was just 22 years old, and despite the fame and glamour, she's young and unhappily married. So that marriage dissolves by 1944. So on the surface, she's at the height of her career, but beneath the surface, she's become a single mom at a really young age. MGM, of course, tried to downplay the struggles because they didn't like that she had a messy personal life. So they tried to hide as much of this from the media as possible.
Which is so interesting because now we know that like any news is, or
Is
like any
good
press
news.
is good press.
Yeah, that's so true. Like we just want to keep our names out there kind of thing. But
it's icky, but...
It's icky. And now we're going to take a little deviation from talking about Lana and her daughter Cheryl. We're going to talk about the murder victim. This is Johnny Stompanato.
Stompanato.
So Johnny Stompanato Jr. is born on October 10th, 1925 in Woodstock, Illinois. He was raised in an Italian-American family. His dad owned a barbershop. His mom was a seamstress. Tragically, his mom passes away when he's only 6 days old.
Oh, wow.
So they both grew up with pretty tragic losses as children. Stompanato later served as a private in the U.S. Marine Corps. He participated in the battles of Peleliu and Okinawa.
Oh, yeah, that's rough.
I would assume, without knowing literally anything else, that would lead to some post-traumatic stress.
Yeah, that the Japanese theater war was awful.
You looked like you were getting a flashback there. You know you weren't around, right?
Yeah. No, it's just I'm not even going to repeat it. It's really awful.
Yeah. So that's when he's a young man. That's what, while she's like doing the USO tours, he's being traumatized.
Yeah.
And after the war, he relocates to Los Angeles. And because he's a veteran and he's a strong young man, he gets a job as a bodyguard. Kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, his employer is a notorious mob boss.
Oh, boy.
Named Mickey Cohen.
Oh, Mickey, yeah. He is notorious.
Yes, he's a big deal. Mickey Cohen would offer protection for individuals in Hollywood social circles.
Yes, protection.
Protection, which meant he was like, give me your money or we'll beat the crap out of you.
Yeah.
And so that's probably what Stompanato's job was beating people up.
Yeah, so he's basically low-key in the mob.
Yes, he is in the mob. And when he wasn't in the mob, he was sometimes moonlighting as an escort.
Oh my God.
So he was like, I just want money.
You gotta do what you gotta do,
Yep.
I guess.
So Stompanato begins dating Turner in spring of 1957.
Oh, okay.
So he has worked his way up. He has more money, more influence, more power, I guess. And he starts off by sending her lavish gifts. And He writes her like cards and messages and stuff. He signs his name as John Steele, probably because his name would have been more infamous and maybe like...
Yeah. Also, it's like Italian. I think there's a lot of anti-Italian sentiment probably
Yes.
at this time because of World War II. So
Yes. And there is also the stereotype of people assuming there's mob ties with Italian Americans.
right.
Granted, is it accurate in this case? Yes. But is
I love that.
profiling okay? No. So he basically kind of love bombs her is what we would call it today. Before even really meeting her, he's just like, I have access to, I have Hollywood ties. She's a babe. I'm going to send her a bunch of presents and
See what happens.
See what happens. So at the time she's filming The Lady Takes a Flyer, which is a very famous MGM hit. And she admitted that she was, quote, thoroughly intrigued by his bold approach.
Thoroughly intrigued.
So they do start dating, and their relationship quickly becomes rocky and volatile. It was marked by frequent physical abuse and violent arguments. On one occasion, actually I should have put in a content warning at the start of this.
Well, it's content warning.
Content warning for physical abuse. On one occasion, he allegedly choked her while on a film set.
Oh my God.
In London. I don't think this is alleged because there's plenty of witnesses. Someone called Scotland Yard, and Scotland Yard deported him.
Wow, that's embarrassing.
Yeah. But they stayed together. That wasn't the end of it. And then another incident was after the 1958 Academy Awards. For whatever reason, Lana Turner went without him. They're dating, but she didn't take him. And when she got home, he was very violent with her.
Oh my God, dude.
So now we're going to get into Cheryl, the daughter.
The daughter. So she would have... Oh, yeah, she's young. She's really young.
At the time of the murder, she's 14. That's a baby. So she's Lana Turner's only child from her brief marriage to Stephen Crane. And her early life is really shaped by, of course, a lot of privilege, but also a lot of instability. She's sometimes with her mom. Sometimes she's off at a boarding school like her mom was. She's a child, and the paparazzi are like obsessed with getting pictures of her. And the paparazzi are just obsessed with Lana Turner in general because she is such a serial dater. And it's so scandalous. So anything connected to her, including her baby, they're like, we're going to get pictures and we're going to publish these pictures.
Oh my God, dude.
And despite being a kid, Cheryl reportedly, like from friends of the family, was very protective of her mom. That's called being parentified. I write about it a lot on my Substack.
Check it out.
Check it out. And it's just like she must have seen her mom as like vulnerable or maybe not good at protecting herself. Mm. And little kids just want to see their parents happy and safe because it makes little kids feel happy and safe.
Oh.
So she would step up and be really protective of her mom with her boyfriends. Friends and the household staff knew that little Cheryl immediately hated Johnny Stompanato.
I mean, yeah, I don't blame her.
He was hitting her in front of people, so I can only imagine what he did at home. And Turner's relationship with him brought just constant tension. Cheryl later does share she writes memoirs later in life, and she talks about him being controlling, volatile, and just the longer he was in their lives, the more unsafe she felt.
Yeah.
Because I think these are two extremely traumatized people who are like desperately trying to fix their lives through love and relationships, and they're attracted to each other like magnets, but they're also like repelling each other like magnets, you know?
Oh, wow. So it's like it's both. It's like a superposition.
Mm-hmm. There's so much push and pull.
Oof.
They're like perfect for triggering each other's childhood wounds, basically. So we're going to go to April 4th, That's my Obboy's birthday.
Yay.
Yay. 1958. How old would Obboy be? 30. That's crazy. So on the night of...
I'm so proud of the math you just did right there.
She's old.
Yeah, she's really old.
On the night of April 4th, 1958, Lana Turner and Johnny Stompanato were at Turner's home on Bella Drive in Beverly Hills. At some point that evening, an argument breaks out in her bedroom. Neighbors did report hearing fighting from the house.
Of course.
Like, that's loud.
Yeah.
Because Beverly Hills houses are big.
Yeah.
So for your neighbors to hear...
Must be loud.
Must be loud. Cheryl Crane is 14 years old, and she's in her bedroom while she hears her mom and her mom's boyfriend fighting. She says she got really scared because it just kept getting louder and louder. And at some point, Cheryl decides to go downstairs. She's so scared. She's like, I need to get a knife. She goes down to the kitchen, gets a knife. And what happened next inside Lana Turner's bedroom is not actually fully known outside of the accounts given later. Cheryl, both of these women will go on to talk about this event, but they're very vague about like exactly what transpired. All we know is that Cheryl enters her mom's bedroom holding the kitchen knife. At some point, Stompanato and Cheryl have a confrontation. So the grown man and the 14-year-old girl. And Stompanato is stabbed once in the abdomen. The single wound is severe. It cuts through his aorta.
Oh.
So he dies within minutes.
Yeah.
Right after the stabbing, Lana Turner does not call the police. You know who she calls?
Her ex-husband?
Her agent.
Oh my God.
That's not a good look.
That's not a good look at all.
Which, of course, when that information is released, it fuels so many questions about, like, why? And is her priority at this time just controlling the narrative? Why your agent, of all people? I assume she trusts... Damage control. Word spreads quickly about this murder within Hollywood circles. Very scandalous. Like, ooh, Lana Turner, like, not only was she dating a guy in the mob, but he ended up dead in her house, and I think her kid did it. Like, that's crazy.
That is actually kind of insane.
And then, so she calls her agent. That we know. Before cops get to her house, Mickey Cohen shows up at her house.
Oh my God.
He checks in on the body. He's like...
He did.
He's dead. And then he leaves.
Oh, so he was just there to...
We don't know why.
Yeah, like assess the situation. Like, it's really weird.
And then finally someone calls the police. And when the police arrive, they find 14-year-old Cheryl Crane in shock. Like, that's what they said. Like, this little girl is in shock. She immediately tells them, I stabbed him. And they're like, baby girl.
Like, please don't
I'm going to pretend
that.
you didn't say that.
Yeah.
We need a lawyer. I think the cops felt bad for her. So the press learns of the killing almost immediately. Within hours, there's reporters swarming the house.
Of course. Of course there are.
That is sick. That's so gross. And everyone's talking about it. By the next morning, it's in all the newspapers. The LA Times wrote that, this is a quote, Turner showed a lack of almost any reference to moral sensitivity in the presence of her child.
It's weird.
I don't know what that means.
Yeah.
And they also added, Cheryl isn't the delinquent. Lana is. So they must have seen some sort of behavior from Lana Turner that they thought was inappropriate for the situation. And that made them be like, maybe she did it. The New York Daily News stated that Turner played the most dramatic and effective role of her life. And they heavily suggest in their article that all of her emotions are a performance. I don't know if that's true or not.
Right. It's just, but that makes for a great story. Mm-hmm. That's what matters. It's not the truth. They don't care about the truth.
You know what this part reminds me of is the musical Chicago. Is it Chicago? What's the one that Sophia was in at school that we were like this?
Chicago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That story of like, they just want a good story.
Yeah.
They're obsessed with this idea of like a beautiful, dangerous woman who's like manipulating men and killing them.
Yeah, absolutely. That sells. That sells, baby. Give me a scoop here.
It's a good scoop.
Yeah.
So there's no criminal trial in this case. In California at the time, certain types of violent deaths were handled by a coroner's inquest.
Okay.
This was a public hearing where a jury heard testimony to decide whether the killing was accidental, intentional, or legally justified. And depending on this like public hearing, the outcome of it, it might actually go to a formal trial.
Right. And like someone's formally going to get charged with like murder.
Yes. So at the inquest, Lana Turner testified tearfully about the abuse and threats that she had endured, which other people have been talking about for years at this point.
Right. It's corroborated. This is actually like the fact.
Mm-hmm. And she does tell them that she was fighting with her boyfriend that night. And Cheryl's testimony matches exactly what her mom says, like about the fight and what they were fighting about and how it escalates. And Cheryl's testimony is that she acted to protect her mom.
Mm-hmm. Oh, so it was always like the story was always that Cheryl shanked him.
Not shanked him.
You know what I mean? Like it was Cheryl that stabbed him.
The 14-year-old didn't do like a prison yard.
Shank. I just one shank.
It was a single shank, babe. One reporter wrote, "A hush fell over the crowd as the famous actress sat down, removed one white glove, and filled her lungs with a deep, steady sigh." Like that.
That was really good.
Thank you.
If you're watching on video, like she did the whole thing.
She testified that, Lana, that Cheryl, she's like, when Cheryl stabbed him, she, quote, swears it was so fast, I truthfully thought she had hit him in the stomach. The best I can remember, they came together and then they parted. I never saw a blade. Interesting. I feel like that's not made up.
Yeah, that's actually could be accurate.
Yeah. The LA Times also quoted the following testimony from Lana Turner. She said, "He grabbed me by the arms and started shaking me and cursing at me very badly, saying," and then ... saying, if he said jump, I would jump. And when it went beyond that, he would kill me and my daughter and my mother.
Oh my gosh.
Damn.
This guy is not, it doesn't sound like he's a great dude.
No. The jury returns immediately, saying this is a justifiable homicide.
Oh, of course they were. They weren't going to send a 14-year-old girl, especially, I hate to say it, but 14-year-old girl that has that complexion.
A 14-year-old white girl whose mom
Yeah.
is a celebrity.
Exactly.
Yeah. She's fine.
She's fine.
She's fine. And even though the act was ruled justifiable, Cheryl is 14, and the standard procedure at the time required that any minor involved in a homicide, even if it was self-defense, be placed temporarily under supervision of the juvenile authorities. That's so weird.
That's so weird. Why I bet because it's like super paternalistic, and instead of like getting a therapist, they're just like, some random like authority is gonna take care of it.
So she basically goes to juvie for a little while, and then they don't release her to Lana Turner. They release her to her grandmother.
Okay.
So she is I guess Lana Turner's parental custody is taken away in this process.
I mean, she hasn't shown the best judgment.
Yeah, I could see that argument. And they're like, you put this child in a situation where she had to defend you.
Yeah, and I have like sympathy for her based on her upbringing, but at the same time, like you always have to think of like, okay, well, what's best for the child?
Right, like for Lana Turner and Johnny Stompanato, like their childhoods are gone. There's nothing to do about that.
Yeah.
But for Cheryl, it's like we need to try to do something that's going to help her.
Yeah, like almost like save the children that are here.
Here. Mm-hmm. I agree. Even though this was the official verdict, that Cheryl acted not in self-defense, but in defense of another, people were like, I don't know if that's true. So there's biographers that come out with theories that Lana herself delivered the stab wound and that she asks her daughter to confess to cover and protect her career.
Oh, that's pretty crappy if that's true.
There's no physical evidence to support the theory, but it remained like such a big narrative in Hollywood.
I mean, let's think about this for a second. Like a 14-year-old girl in the late 50s, like taking initiative to grab a knife, go upstairs and confront the boyfriend who is the abuser of like her mom. It's not unheard of, right?
Yeah.
That's plausible. Is it probable? I don't know.
I guess you'd have to really know the child's temperament.
Right.
And how much violence has she already been exposed to?
That's a really good point.
Because I've had family members where, like my cousins, where there was domestic violence in their home and they were little and they stepped in, not with a weapon, but there is like an instinct to protect even when you're a little kid.
That's true.
But I don't know. I do wonder, like, is a little kid going to think, like, let me go downstairs, let me get a knife?
Yeah, because I'm assuming her bedroom was upstairs.
Yes.
Goes downstairs, grabs the knife, goes back upstairs, confronts Stompanato.
Mm-hmm.
I was like...
You have to say it like Stompanato.
Stompanato. Sorry. Oh, I'm so sorry to my Italian listeners.
Oh, my God. We just lost them all.
Yeah, I
That's
don't blame
okay.
you. Confronts him with the knife. And then,
a single stab wound is
You know
wild.
what I think? If she did end up stabbing him, I think what could have happened is like he walked up like towards her, and I think, and she, without,
she was probably like, "Don't come closer."
Yeah, don't. And then like she just kind of accidentally like jabs it into him, and I think they're both like shocked, like, "Whoa, did this just happen?" And then he's dead.
I think that's really probable. It sounds like it was a crazy coincidence that she stabbed him in the spot that she did.
Yeah, I mean, that was certainly not
intentional.
Yeah.
Because it also, your theory would go with what Lana Turner shared, where she's like, she comes into the room, he goes at her, and it looked like they almost, like, she said, came together.
Yeah.
So I'm picturing them almost like hugging.
Like it was an accident.
And then they separated, and then he's dead on the floor.
Yeah.
So I could see that.
I could definitely see that. I'm not necessarily buying that.
Lana Turner did it?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think most likely is, what we just described. Again, we're not there. That's just our guess, but
yeah,
that's what I'm thinking.
It's interesting that decades later in her memoir, Cheryl talks about this, and she addresses that there's the pervasive theory that her mom actually did it. But she doesn't deny it in her memoirs. She does continue with her story, like what she testified as a kid, but she doesn't say, like, that's crazy. She's just like, I know that people think my mom did it. Maybe it was so crazy to her she didn't have to address it.
Right. That's what, like, it could just be like, no, like, this is what happened. And she's like, this is what people think. This is what happened.
Yeah.
So she's like, there's no need to outrightly deny it.
Yeah. Yeah. And it had been so long at that point. Maybe she was like, I don't need to deny this. Like, obviously, the truth would have come out if that were the case. Well, at the time when this initially happens, the ruling, everything, people are divided. Some really see Lana Turner as the victim of domestic abuse, who she and her daughter could have died that night. So some people give her a lot of sympathy. And others really see her as this sort of evil woman.
Evil woman.
Who was kind of like pulling the strings type of thing. People are really confused by Mickey Cohen showing up.
That doesn't make any sense.
Some like people think like that Mickey Cohen showing up, that for whatever reason, he's not upset that his guy's dead. They think that he gave her the idea of the cover up. Say the kid did it.
Oh, he kind of came in as like a like immediate disaster consultant in a way.
Oh my God, what was that show that all the dads liked? Ray Donovan.
Ray Donovan. Oh my God, the dads loved Ray Donovan.
The dads loved it. Kind of like a Ray Donovan moment where he's like, looks at the scene, looks at everything. He's like, oh, you could say the kid did it.
Yeah. Or it could have just been like they explained it exactly the way to him. He's like, just say that.
Yeah.
Because that's also like a good...
That's true. He could have been like, tell the truth.
Yeah.
Like that, wow, that's crazy. And then he leaves.
Yeah, he's like, wow, damn, dude, that's crazy.
It's like, bye. It's interesting that he didn't ever do anything to her.
I don't think it was, I mean, probably wasn't a big deal to him.
Oh, that's so icky.
I know. It's probably the truth, though.
He's like, oh, that sucks.
Like, it would have been more of, like, the cost of, like, quote unquote punishing her was way too high than
She's
the cost
too
of, like,
public of a
losing
figure.
him.
Mm-hmm.
And he's just like, yeah, it's just like a write-off.
Or like, yeah, we probably saw that as like a collateral.
Yeah.
Or if your theory is correct, like if he saw like, oh, your kid did this, like, I'm not going to retaliate against a 14-year-old kid. That's so sad.
Yeah, exactly. Like, oh. Because I know like some mobsters back in the day actually had like some like morals.
Mm-hmm. Some limits.
Yeah.
Some lines that they're like, I'm not going to hurt a kid.
Yeah, they're like, oh, well, that's clearly an accident too.
Also, who wouldn't empathize with a kid that was just scared for their mom?
Yeah.
Be like, oh. But he's like, I'm also not going to help you guys get out of this one. So bye.
I mean, to be fair, I think him sticking around would make things a lot worse.
A lot worse, yeah. So yeah, this is just all over the gossip columns. People are dissecting every little thing, every detail, every tear that she shed in the courtroom.
Yeah.
People are either saying like, wow, like, look, this is a big problem that like women are facing. Or, wow, this is a psychopath.
Right.
Isn't that interesting?
That's really strange.
So this scandal could have ended her career. Instead, it marked a turning point.
Oh.
She was like, I could make money off this.
Gotta find a way to make money off this.
She just kind of like ignores it. She's just like, I'm not gonna try to convince people either way.
That's some good use of free will, I suppose.
Yeah, and she in 1959 stars in Imitation of Life, which becomes the biggest hit of her career. That's probably the movie that she's most known for.
And she's like, you know, for Hollywood, she's older at this point. She's like in her late 30s.
Yes. And people are like, oh, wow. They think partly the movie did so well because the public's just so fascinated with her. And they just wanted to see her in a movie. We're so messed up.
Yeah.
Humans
are messed up.
So Lana kind of leans into it and is like, I'm going to be at the height of my career. I think she, to your comment earlier, I think she has the mindset of like, any press is good press. And just goes with it. And her daughter, though.
Oh, that poor girl.
Is infamous.
Yeah.
Living with her grandma. She's traumatized. And it doesn't seem like her mom really did anything about it.
No, she's like, I gotta find a way to make money off this.
Mm-hmm.
Like, literally.
So we're going to jump forward a lot.
Okay.
To what happens later on in life. So by the 1970s, Lana Turner largely has stepped back from acting, with an exception of her last feature film is in a film called Witch's Brew that comes out in 1980. She broke the silence on this case, on the scandal, in the early 80s on a TV interview which drew a lot of ratings. And she just kind of like repeats the same story.
Yeah.
Like she hadn't talked about it. She didn't do interviews on it when it initially happened.
So from like 58 to the early 80s.
Yeah, 1982.
Yeah, wow, so
that's the first time she talks about it.
Almost 25 years.
But she just repeats the same thing, which I think is a good sign.
Yeah.
As we can imagine, the mother-daughter relationship has been strained that whole time.
Not surprising.
What a painful, traumatic thing to go through. And it is the adult's responsibility, the parent's responsibility at that point to take the lead on repairing the relationship. But she didn't. And I get it. She didn't have the tools to. She was focused on herself. But how sad for her daughter. So her daughter, Cheryl, her grandma's like, I'm I'm old. I'm not trying to.
She must be really old by this point.
I'm not trying to raise a kid. And she puts her in boarding school. And Cheryl runs away over and over again. She runs away, gets put back into school, runs away, gets put back into school. And by her own account, she said that at this time in her life, she felt pushed to the margins, that her mom prioritized glamour over her.
Sounds like it.
Which breaks my heart. So their bond has like periods of closeness, periods of separation, periods of closeness. And eventually, Cheryl stops talking to her mom. She's like, I can't do this anymore. Lana continues to like get married, get divorced, date, break up, stuff like that. And that's when Cheryl's like, I can't keep doing this with you. So she takes distance from her mom. While she's away from her mom, she builds a life really far from Hollywood type stuff. She becomes like a real estate broker. She works in Beverly Hills. She actually makes a lot of money doing this. She's really good at it.
Yeah.
She falls in love. She's openly gay at a time where...
Oh, wow. Yeah.
At a time where that was really taboo.
Yeah.
And she ends up with a life partner who was a model, Joyce Leroy.
There you go, Cheryl.
That's right, Cheryl. She's got money. She's got a model. And it's after she's built this life with her partner, who she stays with they're still together today.
I was going to ask if they're still alive.
Yeah. They're still together, and she has her business, everything. And that's when she decides, I'm going to write a memoir about this, about what I've been through, which I imagine was really therapeutic. And she writes about her complicated relationship with her mom. And then after that, she does reconcile to a degree with her mom, to the point where Cheryl was with her mother, Lana Turner, when she passed away.
When did she pass away?
In 1995.
Okay.
So Lana Turner dies on June 29th, 1995 in Century City at the age of 74. And after her mom's death, Cheryl and Joyce marry and continue to live like a private life together. This case, known as the Stompanato case, remains one of the most infamous Hollywood scandals. It's often mentioned in the same breath as things like, the Black Dahlia murder, which was 1947, or the death of George Reeves, 1959. Like, it's one of those like things that really like marred that glamour of Hollywood.
Mm-hmm.
And that is the story of Lana Turner, Johnny Stompanato, and Cheryl Crane.
Wow. That was beautifully well done, babe.
Thanks.
Yeah, I mean, a sad story, but...
It's so sad. I didn't know how to end it because I'm like, well, this was traumatizing.
Yeah.
A man died. Everyone gets traumatized, and then a man dies, and then it's more traumatizing. But I thought it was like as I was reading about it, I was like, this is worth telling.
Yeah, absolutely. Peak History for Weirdos.
Yeah, this
honestly.
is not the type of thing that people talk about because I think it's so sad and uncomfortable. So, of course, your girl, she's like, sad and uncomfortable. I want to talk about it.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Yeah.
So thank you for listening to that.
Yeah, well, thank you again for telling that. I think that was, you recounted that beautifully. I really like the way you kind of weaved in the different storylines together and how you kind of brought it to a close at the end. I thought,
That's right.
I'm just glazing you now.
I'll take it.
Glazed Gen Z earlier in the episode, glazing my wife. I'm just glazing everyone.
We should have a whole podcast episode where you're just glazing me.
You would love that. You would
love
absolutely love that.
You just tell me that you think I'm pretty, that you think I'm
You are
smart.
pretty. You're smart, too.
Ooh, this is the best.
Oh, my God. This is going to be in the episode. Oh, my God.
Someone's throwing up in their mouth.
Andrew's a simp. But yeah, I am a simp. It's for my wife, okay?
Yeah, that's okay.
I feel like that's like the only exception that's okay.
Or Perry.
Oh, yeah, yeah. If you're a simp for your dog, that's also completely acceptable.
Which we both are.
Oh, my God.
Perry...
Yeah,
rules our hearts and our lives.
yeah, like he's the boss of the house.
Yes.
The dog.
He is the boss of the house.
Yeah. Anyways,
okay, I do have a question for you though.
Absolutely.
What would you have done if you were in Lana Turner's shoes, the mom?
I think if it was Cheryl
with like shitty 1958 forensics. Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely think the way they handled that was, I mean, it was kind of perfect. Like
You think so?
Yeah, I mean, neither of them went to jail. They didn't like.
You wouldn't. Maybe it's like a stupid instinct that I had. I was like, I would say that I did it, but then she would have been more likely to go to prison.
Yeah, they could have picked them apart, and then if you said you did it, and then it found out the child did it, oh, she's hiding it. It automatically like mars the child.
Yeah, it makes it look more suspicious.
Exactly. I am thinking of it like from today's point of view, but like really like in 1958, if you could hold it together and say, no, I did it like on accident, whatever, blah, 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 I would probably go that route. But at the same time, they usually figure this stuff out, especially for this high profile stuff.
Especially a little kid, you're right.
Yeah.
Little kids are...
If I did have that money, though, I'd get Ray Donovan over.
1958 Ray Donovan?
Yeah.
I'm sure there was one.
I guess it was Mickey Cohen.
Isn't that wild?
That is weird. That's really weird.
What an interesting business to run at the time.
I mean, he's
think
in
you're
the
right.
mob, so.
Mm-hmm. I think you're right. I think if that's the truth, go with the truth. People will be sympathetic. People were sympathetic.
Yeah.
Probably where she needed to change things up was how she handled the aftermath.
Definitely, and she should have been way more
Involved with her kid.
That's the thing that she really messed up on.
Yeah, I'd take a step away from my Hollywood career and be
Acting, yeah.
I'm going to go focus on my kid. She's been through some stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Oh, but, it's easier from the outside.
100% easier to, like, kind of cast judgment for, like, decades in the future. So.
Yes, of course, with so much more perspective and information. But it is overall just a really tragic story.
It is. It's insanely tragic, but, I mean, I guess life can sometimes be tragic, unfortunately. It's just how you, like, deal with it moving forward.
Beautiful.
Beautiful. And with that said, weirdos, that is the end of this week's episode. As always, you can find us on Instagram at History For Weirdos. If you feel so inclined to email us, you can find us at historyforweirdos@gmail.com. I noticed you recently posted something on our Instagram about hometown stories. So
You noticed? I told you I was going to do that.
Okay, I was just like going with the flow here.
Yes, we are looking for local lore.
Yes, so if you have local lore,
which is like
email us.
hometown history stories.
Yeah, exactly. Email us at historyforweirdos@gmail.com.
And just do the subject line local lore. Because
Yes.
otherwise
It's going to get lost.
it's going to get
guys.
lost in the emails.
We have 2 people with ADHD.
Running that inbox.
Yeah, so it's as you can imagine, it's a mess.
It's a mess. But our plan is to have an episode where we read your local lore. And
Yeah.
we're really excited for it.
Yeah, that was Stephanie's brainchild. I'm excited for it too.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, weirdos.
Without further ado, adios.
Until next time. Oh, shit. Fuck. Oh, no. Damn it. Tatiana.
Don't cut that
Cut that
out.
out. I
Do
was
not
trying to-
cut that
I
out.
was trying to make a cute heart
You're like,
to my clients and not curse like a sailor.
And imagine you said their names.
Oh my God. Can you imagine? No, I was just trying to give you guys hearts. I love my clients. My clients are the best. What were we talking about?